Hey everybody, sorry about the late start, but the markets are open. We're looking at a Tesla long here around 160, Pierce of 160. So keep that on the radar. A Tesla long. Spiders are getting rocked at the moment. But we are watching Tesla for a potential long. Let's just get this headphone in. Markets are under some serious pressure right now. So the level I'm looking at on Tesla is 160. 160. Pierce of 160. It's catching a bid now. Spiders are catching a bounce. So spiders are still under a little bit of pressure. They are bouncing off of the lows. You're seeing some strength come back in Microsoft, Apple, but we'll see if it holds up. The markets are looking very vulnerable to seeing some more downside. The dollar has softened substantially, so that's giving the market a little bit of respite. Oil's collapsing here. Natural gas is under some significant pressure as well. I'm looking at AT&T for a long. It would have to go down to about 1840, 1834, give or take. I'm still eyeing up Tesla for a long. But we're just waiting here to see what transpires. Meta is trying to bounce. Spiders are still under a lot of pressure. Tesla's catching a bounce here. AT&T is coming down. Keep that on the radar. We're going to go long AT&T. We will go long AT&T around a Pierce of 1834. So that is on watch for a potential long trade. It's not there yet. Alright guys, get ready to go long AT&T. Get ready to go long AT&T. I'm going to do a 1/5 position. It's catching a little bit of a bounce here. I want it a little bit lower though. Around 1820 would be ideal. Alright guys, I'm long AT&T here. I'm long, it's a 1/5, 1827, 1827. Long T, 1827. AT&T is still coming down here. Spiders are still trying to bounce here. We're long AT&T at 1827. It's a 1/5. The next ad level will be around 1806. 1806. We will go long. Another. Make that 1807. 20 cents. Apple's had a terrific bounce, so that is shooting up higher. AT&T's under pressure this morning. Tesla's had a bounce. I'm still interested in around the 160 level on Tesla. AT&T is getting a nice bounce. We're going to look for about 10 to 20 cents on AT&T. It's bouncing now, guys. It's bouncing now. Come on, there's 10 cents right there. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. Spiders are bouncing. Spiders are bouncing. XOM's under pressure because oil is seeing a lot of sell side pressure right now. We're long at 18.27. Got a little bit of a bounce. Small minor bounce. It's only a 1/5 position. We have plenty of maneuverability in the event that we do need to add. Tesla still hasn't hit the level that I like. Spiders are bouncing though. We'll see how long it lasts. Natural gas is under pressure. Qs are bouncing. Dollar's still weak right now. Yields are weak. Let's see if AT&T can bounce a little bit more now. Alright guys, I am out of AT&T. I'm out at 18.41. That's a 14-cent gain. 14-cent gain times 1,000 shares for myself. Nice job there. Beautiful little trade there. Nice. Alright, now we can play it again if it were to come back down, but it's catching a big bounce for now. Let's see if these markets give up any of these by the dip. The manufacturing data that came in this morning was horrific. Tesla's getting a bounce. Spiders are bouncing. Let's see what else. Ford's down again. Let's do a Ford check here. Let me just pull it up on my other screen. I'm just going to check to see if there's a level on Ford because it had a big down day yesterday and now it's gapping lower. I like Ford. If Ford gets down to about 1150, we can go long Ford. It's even a better level at 1141. But 1150, I do like a long on Ford. So keep Ford on the radar. We can go long Ford at 1150. And then 1141. Markets are still holding up. They're bouncing, trying to hold most of the gains. AT&T is still down quite substantially. Definitely buy the dip coming in to prop this market up in the near term. We'll see if it lasts. AT&T is coming down. Keep Ford on the radar. I am interested in Ford. AT&T were to hit the 1820 level again, we can go long AT&T again. So I'm watching that on my other screen. It is bouncing now. Nvidia is under a little bit of pressure. XOM is under some substantial pressure. Let's see the banks. Banks are a little weak, slightly weak today. Walmart's down, Costco's up. Markets are bouncing. All right, Ford is coming into a level here, guys. Ford is coming into a level. Just want to make sure they 1150 or lower on Ford. 1150 or lower, and we go long Ford. Tesla's getting a bounce off of the lows. Nvidia is bouncing, so now the market is pushing up. Ford hasn't participated yet. Take a look at Alcoa. I know that was under pressure. That had a magnificent bounce. Wow, look at that bounce. Keep Ford on the radar. AT&T is coming back down. So the next level on AT&T is right around 1810. 1810. I like AT&T. but it needs to hit in the next, say, 10 minutes on AT&T. Spiders are seeing a little bit of a wave of selling now. Let's remove that one off there. Keep AT&T on the radar again, guys. AT&T's coming back down again. You have the 200 daily moving average at a Pierce of 18. Spiders are seeing some more selling. The dollar's starting to perk up again. Rivian's down. Nokia's down. KeyCorp is down. Amazon just turned negative. Small pockets of strength in XPO. XPO. That's actually into the stratosphere today. No real trade on that for me. Tesla's still trying to bounce off of the lows. Still liking AT&T. But it really needs to come into this gap fill zone. So around the 1813 on T, we can potentially look for another long. But it is being defended. The spiders are also being defended. Let's do a check of the IWM. IWM is under some pressure today. If the IWM were to come into this zone here, 176.20, we can maybe look for a long trade on that. Nvidia is bouncing, so markets are bouncing now. Meta's under some pressure today. Home builders are miraculously strong, just surging higher, despite the economic data coming in weak. Netflix is under some pressure this morning. Copper is under a little bit of pressure this morning. Volatility is getting sucked back out again because the markets are bouncing, yields are softening. XOM. We may have a trade on XOM. Let me just see if I can isolate a level. AT&T is still coming down. Markets are still holding up here. A little bit of weakness in the regionals today, which is why the Russell's lagging. Do a quick check on T. That's still holding on. Tesla's still holding on. Tesla never hit my level. Bitcoin's seeing another wave of selling. Let's take a look at this Riot. Riot, how about Coin? Wow, look at Taiwan Semi. So they actually are surging, and this is because a lot of people thought there was an easy short because Warren Buffett sold his stake. Well, what do you know? It's not an easy short, and I bet a lot of people just got wiped out. So TSM, we can look for a short into this level, this 93 Pierce level. It may coincide with this high pivot resistance. So I am interested in a short on Taiwan. It has to get above 92. 92.20 is the first level that I would take. 92.20. You are getting a nice retrace on Taiwan Semi right now, but it could push up a little bit higher, especially if the markets begin to float up, which right now they are. Big push in the markets coming. Apple's about to go green. It's trying here. Tesla's still trying to bounce. Microsoft's bouncing. Nvidia's bouncing as well. Keep Taiwan Semi on the radar for a short. So just one trade in the pocket for us. It was a nice one on T. That was a good one. Not only did we bank on the day trade, but we also covered it as a swing short with our members. So that was good to see. Home builders are just into the stratosphere, making new highs. Wow. I am shocked. I am shocked that the home builders are so strong. Markets are pushing up here. Take a look at the Qs. Qs are starting to push higher. I'm still watching TSM on my other screen. Nothing else that's catching my eye right now. But it's a big push in the markets. There's an aggressive short level at the Qs at this level and the spiders. I'm not personally taking it. I want to see if we can push to around 412.80. 412.80 I may short the Qs or the spiders. So if we get to 412.81, I will consider a short on the spiders. Still watching TSM. XOM is still on watch for a potential long trade. Wow, the Qs are surging higher. Apple's about to go green. Volatility was just sucked right out of the market. Doesn't mean it can't perk back up again, but as of now the markets are just seeing a huge buy the dip come in. There's a big sell candle right there. Wow, look at that. And again, the levels that I'm watching are really trading in this range. You can see that we gave yesterday this long level for the spiders down here, which actually almost hit. Didn't quite hit though. So spiders are seeing a little bit of sell side pressure here. Taiwan Semi almost came up to our level, didn't pierce that 92 level. XOM is getting rocked. Oil seeing a big decline. Take a look at this WTI chart. Oh, I'll leave the spiders up. Sorry, let me just go here. Look at WTI getting rocked right now. And XOM is actually getting interesting here. XOM for a potential long trade. I do like the level around 114.30 for a potential long. Banks are bouncing, so regionals, big banks are seeing some more buy the dip come in. There might be a trade on BABA that I'm looking at. Still interested in shorting Taiwan Semi. And I am interested in going long XOM. But it's not at the levels yet. We have to be very patient. Riot has had a huge bounce off the lows. We can actually look to short Riot. It's a high risk one. Whoops. The level I would short Riot at, let me just pull it up here. Spiders are still trying to buy the dip here, coming in. if Riot pushes into 1225, we can start a short position. 1225 XOM's coming down. Let's look at T here. That's still coming down. Alright guys, get ready to go long XOM. The level I have is 114.20 or lower. This is going to be a 1/5 position again. A 1/5 position. Spiders are under some pressure. Natural gas is trying to bounce. Healthcare is very weak right now. XLV, I do have a long level on XLV, but it's much lower, around the 132.25 level. So XOM's catching a little bit of a bid. Let's flip back to Taiwan semis. Spiders are catching a bid. The Russell's going to be catching a bid because of the banks. Regional banks have really shot up. If the Russell gets back to, say, just looking here, this green line over here, we can short it. And then with an add level at the gap fill. AT&T's coming back down again. I'm maybe interested in a long trade there. Spiders are still seeing another little round of selling. They're bouncing now. The dollar's really softened. Alright, XOM's coming down, guys. XOM is almost at our level. I am prepared to go long the XOM at 114.20. Starter position, 114.20. Keep your order ready. It's going to maybe get a flush there. It's very, very close. Very, very close. Bitcoin's starting to get another little bid. We're about, XOM's catching a small little bounce there. Spiders are also still trying to bounce. Apple's trying to go positive. Nvidia's almost back to the positive side. Tesla's seeing a little wave of selling. XOM's 3 cents away, guys. 3 cents away. It's catching a small bounce though. Small bounce. The level's still technically valid. Oh, it actually did pierce it on my chart. I missed it. I missed that. Oh, actually I got filled there. 114.20, guys. 114.20 long XOM. It pierced that level really quickly there. 114.20. That's a 1/5. The next ad level will be 113.81. 113.81. And we're going to look for about, what are we down on the session here? You see we're down 1.99%. We're going to look for at least 25 cents on XOM. So we're long XOM. Next ad level 113.81. And then I do have another ad level around 113.50, and then 113.14. So basically about 30 cents lower. Alright, XOM's flushing even more now, guys. XOM is flushing. Nvidia's surging up higher. Big drop on XOM coming in. Big drops coming in here. Next ad level's approaching, guys. Next ad level's approaching. All right, I just got filled there, 113.76, 113.76. That's a 2/5 position on XOM. 113.76. I'll let you know my average here in a second. So my average is 113.99. 113.99. AT&T I'm still interested in. Taiwan Semi has had a big pullback, so that level's off the table. Let's just see what else other stocks are doing. Riot has had a pullback, never quite hitting that level. XOM's coming back down, and this is the spiders also selling. The spiders are selling hard here, guys. So next ad level is 113.50. 113.50. So AT&T is on watch. If we pierces below 18, we'll go long AT&T. Healthcare is still coming down, while keeping my eye on that. XOM's catching a small little bounce here. Spiders are still weak. The dollar's starting to perk up a bit. Markets are very, very fragile today, it seems. We got that solar eclipse, we got a full moon, we got a new zodiac sign. So there's a lot at play here in terms of astrology at work in the markets. The moon, full moons are typically very powerful for human emotions, human psyches. Full moons are very powerful for manipulating the oceans. Alright, XOM's getting a little bit of a bounce here, guys. Let's see what we can get out of here. Tesla's still trying to come back down. We're watching Tesla. Bitcoin's trying to bounce, but still under a lot of pressure. AT&T is coming back down for another round of selling. So let's keep AT&T on the radar because there's still a level to watch there. Semis are acting very, very well. There might be a short on the SMH here. Let me just take a look. There is a short level coming up on the SMH, guys. A pierce of 253. I'll let you know if I take it. But taking a look at the SMH, it's a nice surge. So I'm looking at a pierce of 253. I may wait a little bit more until it actually pierces that level with good conviction. Keeping XOM on the radar. Next ad level is 113.50. We're about 21 cents away. Markets are still acting a little weak right now. XOM's approaching 8 cents away from that level. AT&T seeing a dump here, guys. So we got a lot of potential setups coming into fruition all at once here. So let's manage our XOM trade because that's coming into the next level here. And AT&T is coming into a nice weekly 100 moving average. The daily is a little bit lower, but a pierce of that 18 bucks level does get me interested in TNT. All right, XOM's hitting that next ad level, guys. I'll let you know if I'm filled. Not filled yet. Not filled yet. Missed it by a few pennies. All right, I just got filled at 113.48. 113.48. Drops the average down to 113.79. It's a 3-6 position. 113.79. We're slightly out of the money here. And it's going lower. Spiders are under a lot of pressure here. Take a look at T. T is breaking that level. Let's get a pierce of that 18 bucks. The big level's at 17.87. So we'll just mark that in on the chart. And then there's even a bigger level at, actually, yeah, the big level is 17.87. The 200 daily moving average is at around 17.95. Spiders are coming down now. A little bit more selling. Still watching the semis. Semis haven't hit my short level, but they're very, very close to. AT&T for a long, that's also very close. XOM is dumping some more now, guys. So XOM is dumping more. This is melting away right now. Obviously, we are hedged right now via swing trade with the members, so that's good to see. But we're in a day trade as of now. Spiders are testing the lows. So it looks like XOM is a market trade. SMH is almost at that 253. It just hit that 253. All right, guys, I'm shorting the SMH 253.10, 253.10. $253.10. Short the semis. Basically, I'm going to look for about 40 cents or more. 40 cents or more on SMH. AT&T just hasn't quite hit my level. I want to pierce that $18 level. XOM's catching a small bounce here. SMH is coming in. XOM's getting a little bit of a bounce here. Didn't quite hit our level. It was very close to. AT&T is almost at our long level. Almost, but it's catching a small little bounce. So keep that on the radar. Pierce of 18, we go long AT&T. So we got some shorts, we got some longs. The next short level on SMH is 253.74. 253.74. Let's put it at 75. Rip roaring rally. Nvidia just turned green. Look at this push in the market. Wow. Holy. What a push. XOM's got a nice bounce going. Markets are pushing higher. XOM's getting a big bounce here, guys. We're almost flat on XOM here. We're almost flat. I'm watching SMH. Markets are seeing another wave of selling here. So XOM, we're slightly in the money. Let's look at our SMH. That's basically flat. AT&T is getting a little bit of a bounce here. I'm still interested in Tesla for a long. I think we can get a pullback to this vicinity on the SMH. It is the powerhouse sector, but let's just watch it. XOM still just hanging in there. Markets are still under pressure, but the dollar's softening here. All right, XOM's bouncing up. SMH is doing a nice pullback here, guys. Keep your eye on the SMH. I'm still short. We hit our target. Our first target has been hit. I want a little bit more though. Let's see if we can get a little bit more out of this. AT&T is also hitting that level, guys. I'm going to go long AT&T here. As soon as it pierces that 1797 is ideal, but I will be going long AT&T. Just watching a lot of moving parts of this market right now. Getting a little bit of a bounce here. Keep that on your radar though. It's still valid, the level. XOM still bouncing. SMH were flat. Nat gas, oil still under pressure. A lot of pressure on oil. Bitcoin's catching another little wave to the downside. Alright, AT&T is coming up into that level again, guys. So it did hit that even 18 number, but it hasn't pierced it. I want it to pierce. Let's see if we can get semis are coming in a little bit, maybe a potential 10-minute topping tail. XOM were flat. Let's see if we get one more flush on AT&T. Come on. It looks like it wants to flush. We're still flat on XOM. Gold is surging a little bit higher. That's showing the dollar's breaking down. SMH is getting a good bid. Nat gas is breaking lower. Meta's just went green. Meta just went green. Flat on XOM, flat on SMH. Spiders are catching a bid here. Very tempting to go long T right here, but since it's hovering at this level, I think it's going to break it. I think it really won't, but the market's bouncing, so that might help it. There's 1801. Just dipping. There is a little bit of a buyer there. There's 18 bucks. There it is, guys. 1797. I just got filled. 1796. No, 1797. Sorry. 1797. It's a 1/5 position. 1/5 position. 1797. SMH is pushing higher. Alright, the next ad level after this would be basically 1782. We're getting a nice bounce off of that level right now. Oof. I think we can get maybe 15 cents or so on this stock. 15 cents or more. SMH is pushing up. Still not at our next ad level, but it is pushing up. So the spiders are having a big bounce right now. Big bounce coming in. XOM's flat. SMH is trying to push up. And there's a big seller that's still lurking in this market. There is a gap fill on AT&T at 1787. So around 1787 is the next ad level. Basically 10 cents lower. AT&T's coming back down, guys, so get ready to add around the 1788 Pierce level. We did tag that daily 200. Nice little bottoming tail coming in. Potential. We're getting a nice bounce here. XOM are flat. Nvidia's green, Tesla's still lagging, Microsoft's lagging. So around the 1788, 1787 is the next ad level for T. XOM, that's basically in the money slightly. SMH, we're basically slightly out of the money. Still hasn't hit the next short level, but you had a beautiful surge on the SMH, and that's basically Nvidia single-handedly. Let's take a look at the IWM, because KRE is starting to come back in. So banks have rolled over again after having a nice surge. They're rolling over. Maybe that's going to be the trend in the market. We'll just have to wait and see. SMH. SMH is pushing up again, guys. AT&T is coming back down again. We'll add around the 1787 level. 1788. Seems like there's a buyer stepping up there, accumulating for sure. Ford's down 3.5. Tesla's still down over 7. AT&T's down over 8. All right, we're starting to get some momentum coming in here. Trying at least. TSM has rolled over. IWM. IWM is surging up. There's a gap fill short on the IWM that I'm interested in. All right, markets are getting a big push. I'm going to add to my semiconductor short, SMH, at 253.74. 253.74. SMH is almost there, so get ready. AT&T we're in the money. XOM we're in the money. AT&T is having a nice bounce. XOM's almost at target. So get ready. If we get above that 114.10 level, we will exit our XOM. Around 114.07. Buy the dip is coming in strong here. Yields are rolling over. Meta's seeing a little bit of sell side distribution. The Russell's acting extremely well, almost attacking the gap fill zone. Markets are still trying to hang in there. XOM is coming up to target, guys. XOM is pretty much almost at the target. All right, I'm going to put a stop loss, break-even stop loss on XOM so that we don't lose on the trade. But we're almost at the target. AT&T is catching a nice bid right now. So protect that XOM trade. That's what I'm doing. Not let it go against me. Let's flip back to the SMH. That's trying to come in. AT&T is getting a nice little pop off our level, so let's see if we can hit target as well. I'll let you know if XOM hits targets. It's trying to pull off the highs. We have a break-even stop loss, so that one's kind of stress-free right now. Obviously, I'd like to see it hit target. around that 114.07 level, 114.10. Oil's caught a little bit of a bid, so it may help. But the dollar's weak right now. And the dollar's actually potentially on watch for a little bit of a bearish breakdown in the market, which is going to help this market. So the dollar is falling sharply lower. AT&T is bouncing. SMH is coming up into the next short level. Alright, I'm going to move my stop loss up a little bit here, just to about protect it, about 10 cents in the money, because I'm seeing weakness come into this energy stock. So basically, alright, I just got stopped out of XOM for a 10-cent gain there. I got stopped out of XOM at 113.89, 113.89, so that's a small gain for us. That trade is over now, but it's a 10-cent gain. Nothing crazy. SMH is starting to show some weakness. Let's take a look at that XOM. It's still starting to roll. It does have a little bit of a bottoming tail to play off of, so I would be interested in retracing it again. If it was to retrace and test that double bottom, I'll pay attention to on my other screen. We'll just manage this trade right now. AT&T, we're still long AT&T. Nvidia just turned back to the negative side. So SMH is starting to see a little bit of weakness now. Tiny bit of weakness approaching. The IWM, keep the IWM on your radar for a short. It's hitting that gap fill. I did have that initial level around here, but I don't want that level anymore. Although it is rejecting right there, I want that gap fill. Russell is looking the most relative, it has the most relative strength right now. Maybe a 10-minute topping tail forming on the SMH. Take a look at that XOM. That's starting to come down again. So that was a good little knowing the risk, protecting the profits when we have them with stop losses. Most people don't use stop losses, but it's extremely important to do so. In my earlier days, I wasn't really a big proponent to using them, but they are handy dandy. They save you more times than not. SMH is starting to roll down now. The dollar is trying to catch a small little bid. So 10-minute topping tail forming on SMH. Let's start to roll. Here we go. We're in the money nicely. TNT, we're in the money. That's holding up even though the markets are under a little bit of pressure. Here come the SMH guys. They're starting to roll hard. SMH is almost at our target. Spiders are still trying to bounce here, so the market is acting well at this point in time. But those home builders, they're just flying. AT&T is still under pressure. Still interested in the Russell short, the IWM, but it's not at the level yet. Spiders are trying to hang in there. They are trying. Tesla still really hasn't caught that much of a bounce. It's still acting very, very weak. Jeez, home builders are the strongest stocks in the market now. Home builders are really the strongest in the market. They are super, super impressive. Oil's starting to come back down now, so are the Qs. Could be signaling that the dollar's about to get a bigger bounce. Nvidia's back to the negative side. You're seeing volatility now start to uptick again. So some protection is being bought. You did get a 10-minute topping tail on Nvidia. All right, SMH is rolling a little bit harder here, guys. XOM's coming back down, so we may have a little bit of a long here on XOM again. So we can play it on a retrace. The level I like is a potential pierce of this level. Let's get rid of all of our old lines here. So keep XOM on the radar. I do like that one for a potential double bottom, pierce of that double bottom. SMH is hitting target, guys. I am just about to cover the SMH. A little bit more of a dip needs to occur, and I will cover at 252.46, 10 cents away. 10 cents away, 9 cents away. Come on, let's see if we can get it. All right, nope. I'm still in it, 3 cents away. One more little dip, come on. All right, I just covered there, 252.46 on the SMH. Boom. Nice little winner there as well. That's over 68 cents. I had 100 shares there. Let's look back at XOM. AT&T, we're still managing that one. That one's just hanging around. Haven't been able to add yet, but I am interested in going long XOM again. We're now approaching that 10:30 time frame. Nvidia is starting to roll. Oil's coming down, so XOM is getting a little bit risky right now because oil did put in some little bit of bearish consolidation. But nice little win on the SMH there. Let's take a look at TSM. That's hanging in there. Ford. That's had a nice bounce off of the lows. This market is very frustrating, Robert. It is very frustrating. It's a very choppy market. You still have a lot of liquidity, excess liquidity frothing around. That's why this bear market is going to take a long time. It's prolonged. Everyone thinks we're going to get out of this. We still have a lot of different phases of this market to get through. And that's why we trade. That's why I became such an active trader, learning the technicals, studying, because it's a choppy market and investors get chopped up. And literally, if you don't follow the day-to-day, it's so frustrating. It is very frustrating. I could agree with you more. This month has been difficult. It has not been easy. And that's all the way around. If you look at the range we've traded in the SPY, we've gone everywhere but nowhere. Home builders are just flying, soaring. I'm still interested in an IWM short. An IWM short. AT&T's perking up a little bit here, so that's good to see for our trade. We have not hit target yet, but I'm pretty confident in that one. Even if the market starts to fade, we should see it. bounce because it's it's diverged from the market. It's a big deviation, a big deviation. Look at this NOK. That's catching a small little bounce. Nokia, that's had a big move lower. Nvidia is trying to bounce. Spiders are putting in a potential little bull flag forming here. What is this PTPI? That one's pretty extended, I would say. What else are we looking at here? Amazon slightly up. AMD is actually holding up on the positive side despite Nvidia being negative. I do have a short level on AMD at around Pierce of 92, 92.15, 92.40, give or take. Nat gas inventories will be coming out in a few minutes, so keep your eye on that. Tesla still it hasn't had a bounce. It's still acting very weak right now. Let's take a look at the Dow Transports. I think industrials probably got hit today on the weaker data, but it's actually holding up. XLI, it is down, but trying to go positive. AMD, how's Intel doing? Intel's actually very weak. Kind of lagging the market there. I do have a long trade on Intel. It's a little bit lower, but it looks like it wants to get there. It's actually at the daily 200 MA at around 30.17. We could look for a long on Intel. Oil's still weak right now. Las Vegas Sands is a powerhouse. That one had a decent earnings report, making new 52-week highs. The KRE's trying to bounce still. Keep nat gas on the radar because inventories do come out, and there is a long level on nat gas. If we were to flush down to about the gap fill of 221, we would look for a long trade on nat gas. Nvidia's coming down lower now. The Russell's approaching that gap fill. So Russell short, guys. Russell short at gap. We can play the Russell for a short at gap. I am actually very intrigued with that. And it's almost back to the positive side on the Russell. AT&T, we're nicely in the money on that trade. That one's starting to come in. SMH is falling sharply lower. Keep that Russell, guys. Keep that Russell. The SMH falling, though, is going to drag this market down. 2 minutes till nat gas inventories. Take a look at this rollover on the SMH. Could have even held for more, but you can't be greedy. Keep your eye on nat gas. AT&T, we're still in the money. UNG's just slightly down in the session. See what these inventories come out at, or the market reaction. We really don't care about them. It's just the reaction to the inventories. SMH is falling sharper now. Bitcoin's under some pressure. KRE is pulling off the highs again, so is gold. SMH is falling a lot sharper now, guys. Nat gas took a big dip here. It is falling. Nat gas just fell a little bit. It's hanging in there. But there's definitely some sellers lurking in nat gas. But they're trying to buy it up right now. Seeing AT&T start to push up. I'm still interested in shorting that Russell, guys and girls. Russell's pushing up. Nat Gas hasn't really made a big directional move. There was a little bit of a dip, but buyers are trying to prop it up and support it in the near term. Russell's approaching. Russell is approaching. I'm going to do a 1/5 on the Russell, 1/5 size position. Because it's an indice, I'm going to go a little bit heavier. I do not mind going heavier when it's an ETF that is hedged over a long. Tesla's still very, very weak. Barely any bounce in Tesla. That's probably a little concerning if you're a Tesla bull. Nat Gas is starting to weaken now. Definitely starting to soften up. Coinbase is pulled off of the highs, even though the dollar's making pretty much almost new lows. Home builders are still surging, but KBH is starting to pull in from the high a bit. Nat Gas is dipping here, guys. Nat Gas is dipping. It's not good for our long, but it's a wild, wild mover. It's a wild trade for sure. AT&T is falling a little bit now. The Russell's still on watch. Nat Gas had a dump. I'm not sure what the inventories were, but obviously the market right now is not taking it as well because they are flushing it a little bit. And remember, this is options expiration week. And the playbook that we've seen, Russell's approaching, guys. Get ready to short the Russell. I am very interested in shorting the Russell. It's almost at that level, that gap fill. I might take it even a little premature because we've had a huge move off the lows in the Russell. A huge move. One more little pump up in the Russell and we're at that gap. I'm going to take it a few cents early before the gap. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive because we've had a massive move off the lows, and I think we may see some capital rotate out of the Russell into the other indices because they're lagging right now. One more push up in the Russell. Spiders are getting a bid, so that's going to help the whole market. Trying to break out of this little bull flag pattern. Alright guys, I'm short the Russell here. I just got filled at the gap. Short the Russell. 178.36. 178.36. And we are pushing through that level now. AT&T is coming back down. Spiders are breaking that bull flag pattern, but AT&T is showing relative weakness right now. Interesting. $17.88 would be the next ad level. I may even let it pierce because we consolidated on T. T is holding on. IWM, let's do that check. That's still pushing up. Next ad level on the Russell is 178.78, basically at this double top zone. Markets are acting well as of now. Nat Gas is trying to be defended, but heavy sell side pressure coming in. We're slightly in the money on the Russell. I think we can look for about 40 to 50 cents on the Russell. Spiders are pushing up. Nvidia is still lagging. At least that's good to see for our short. So I'm looking for a Russell cover around 177.91. AT&T's catching a bid here. The Russell's falling sharply lower now. And there is a potential bottoming tail on AT&T. Potential 10-minute topping tail forming on Russell, IWM. Apple's starting to move sharply lower now. Had a pretty big sell-off there. AT&T. Russell's almost hitting target. Here comes the Russell, guys. Nice sell-off coming. We're approaching that 1040 time frame where the volume should lighten up. The dollar softening, XOM's having a big push along with oil. AT&T is still seeing sell side pressure, breaking that daily 200. Looks like it wants the gap around that 1788 level. Alright, so we're seeing the Russell pull off the highs. AT&T is still weak. We're slightly out of the money, about 2 cents. I would still add there, but again, kind of hedged right now because we have a short, we have a long. But the good aspect of the trade is that the long is already beaten up. So yes, it could still fall lower with the market breaking down, which it looks like it is. It looks like the market is starting to break down. Natural gas is being defended. A 10-minute tail forming on the Russell. Right now it is a topping tail. AT&T is coming into the next target, guys, so I am interested in adding to AT&T long at 1788. Maybe even a pierce to that level. Russell's still coming in. AT&T is trying to bounce there. Spiders are now coming lower. Look at this nice little sell-off coming in on the Russell. We're almost at target on the Russell. We're almost at target. Markets are trying to break down. So the Russell filled its gap. Spiders did not, and the Qs did not. So definitely the strength is in small caps today, and that's certainly interesting to see. 10-minute topping tail will be formed in 30 seconds on Russell if it holds. It's catching a small bounce, and this is heavy volume. This likely means the sell side volume is increasing. Nvidia is rolling over sharply. It's heading to the negative side again, falling a little bit more. The dollar's starting to pop. Apple's rolling over. Nvidia is now down 0.6%. SMH is under pressure. There is a 10-minute topping tail on the Russell. 10-minute top. This is the 5-minute chart, but a 10-minute topping tail has formed. Spiders are coming lower. You also did get a 10-minute intraday topping tail on the SPY, SPY. Dollar's starting to uptick. It's pushing Nvidia lower. The volume's still light in this market. AT&T didn't hit our level. Came very, very close, but they're defending it there, which obviously means buyers are stepping up. Markets are catching a small bounce. The Russell's getting a retrace. So basically, for my target on the Russell, I'm just going to put a it's a 1/5 position. We did get a tail candle there. It may hold, it may not hold. If the volume lightens up, we do favor a continuous grind up, just like we've been seeing in the afternoon. However, watch that dollar. AT&T trade, I am comfortable holding it overnight, specifically since we've had a really big drop already. It is really a solid value play. We just were shorting it. We covered our short. I'm prepared to add to AT&T at 1787, 1776, and then even 1766. Basically in 10 cents, 10 to 15 cent increments. And again, I will hold that overnight. Unless we hit the 10 to 15 cent target, I will pull it off. Obviously, if the markets start crashing, then I'll cut it. But as of now, I am comfortable adding to the position and just accumulating it for even a small little bounce heading into tomorrow. Which is coming down now. But I am going to call the stream to an end here. I've given you the parameters for AT&T. The Russell I will add at that double top that I discussed. Again, this one I probably won't hold overnight. I'd have to see. But basically, if we start consolidating here, this will be the last add level, because I don't think with the light volume trends, I don't want to hold this short too long, because the Russell is more oversold. It could push up higher. But realistically, if we get a consolidation pattern on the Russell, sideways consolidation, I'm going to look to cut it. Win, lose, or draw. I'll still add within the next hour at this level to increase the position. But if we get any consolidation after the 12 o'clock time frame, so that PM time frame, I'll look to cut the Russell. And again, I'm looking for about 40 to 50 cents on the Russell. And then in terms of T, 10 to 15 cents with additional add levels lower. Okay. So on that note, thank you all for tuning in. Congrats on the first AT&T trade that we did there for a nice win. Congrats on the XOM and congrats on the semis. So 3 out of 5 trades we have closed for winners. 2 are obviously pending, in the money on the Russell, and just slightly out of the money on AT&T. And the Russell's actually coming down now. Obviously you could close it now, but I'm going to hold it just to see if we can get a little bit more downside. On that note, thank you all for tuning in. Definitely be aware that it is options expiration this month, so a lot of stocks will be having minds of their own as institutions whip the price action every which way to try to get it to that max pain level. Thank you all, and we'll see you on the charts tomorrow.